rejoice, for lo, the kingdom of God comes in full splendor. It needs but your sight. When the dawn breaks and then the morning sets the sun high in the sky, who would hide for heaven's glory? Who would pass the traveled by? La 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 la.
There's a morning for every nation when the sun's high in the sky. There's a time for every people to affirm their destiny. La 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 la. Even so, all of us together can create a better land. Leave the past and give tomorrow place for all who understand. There's a morning for every nation when the sun's high in the sky. There's a time for every people to affirm their destiny. La 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 la. Even so, all of us together can create a better land. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand. La 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 la. Leave the past, a new tomorrow waits for all who understand.
So I'm going to read to you from Rays of the One Light. These are weekly commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita, based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda, written by Swami Kriya-yoga. At the heart of silence, the eternal word. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. In the Gospel of St. John, these immortal lines appear. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Human vision beholds individuality and separation everywhere. Divine vision beholds the oneness of cosmic vibration, of which all things, no matter how diverse, are manifestations. Cosmic sound, the Word of God, and cosmic light, these are eternal. The world, as revealed to us by our senses, is illusory. In Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramhansa Yogananda relates an early experience he received of the divine aspect of reality. Sitting on my bed one morning, I fell into a deep reverie. What is behind the darkness of closed eyes? This probing thought came powerfully into my mind. An immense flash of light at once manifested to my inward gaze. Divine shapes of sages sitting in meditation posture in mountain caves formed like miniature cinema pictures on the large screen of radiance within my forehead. Who are you? I spoke aloud. We are the Himalayan yogis. The celestial response is difficult to describe. My heart was thrilled. Ah, I long to go to the Himalayas and become like you. The vision vanished, but the silvery beams expanded in ever-widening circles to infinity. What is this wondrous glow? I am Ishvara, I am light. The voice was as murmuring clouds. I want to be one with thee. Out of the slow dwindling of my divine ecstasy, I salvaged a permanent legacy of inspiration to seek God. Wise are we if we meditate on that experience of Yogananda's and salvage from it even a breath of his inspiration. For quite simply, there is nothing else. As the Bhagavad Gita says, I make and unmake this universe. Apart from me, nothing exists, O Arjuna. All things, like the beads of a necklace, are strung together on the thread of my consciousness and are sustained by me. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om.
As we celebrate Master's birthday today, let's honor him by doing something that he highly recommended, going on a fast of a kind, but going on a worry fast. Isn't that a great idea? Let's leave all the problems of the world in God's hands and not spend any more time worrying about them. Let's do whatever we can to help, but let's relax into knowing that God is in charge. How much of our time do we spend just spinning, worrying about the family, worrying about the job, the money, the housing, all of these different problems in our lives? Let's instead be like little children, trusting. Remember, Jesus said, unless ye be like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Let's give it to God, give everything to God, and just be on his lap of infinity. Someone once described kriya-yoga as being like a little kitten on Divine Mother's lap. That she could pick him up, turn him upside down, do anything to him, but he was still purring. And let's keep that image and try to be like that. Happy. In fact, Yogananda, in a New Year's letter, this is from 1952, a while ago, he encouraged us, in the coming year, make up your mind that you will be happy, whether you are rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy, old or young. Don't wait for yourself or your family or your surroundings or the world to change before you can be happy. Change yourself. Make up your mind to be happy within yourself right now, whatever you are or wherever you are. He also cautioned us to make the effort now, because life is short. We never know what's going to happen, and that can be a source of fear, or it can be, as that beautiful vow for brahmachari said this morning, that we had some people take that vow. And we'll have a vow renewal after the dinner that we have and the birthday cake that's coming. But in that vow, it says that God created this world for our entertainment. So, I know it's hard to believe, but that's what he said. Scriptures say that. So let's try to think of it also, as Yogananda said, as a dream drama. It's all a dream. So it's a dream and it's for entertainment. So get into that mindset instead of thinking this exam is coming or this job interview or this tragedy or this crisis. Be even-minded. Keep that consciousness of trusting in God and enjoying whatever happens. If you do that, life will be fun. As Yogananda said, this world is a nest of troubles. But if you love God, it becomes a nest of fun. So in that spirit, I'm going to tell you a story about a saint. This is a real, true story. The saint was a Brahmin in 3rd century India. He married a woman who was a lower caste. She was an arrow maker. And that's a whole story in itself. But anyway, she was a lower caste, and high yogis would sometimes marry outside their caste in order to shake up the prejudice of the caste system. And they were a very compatible pair, very companionable. And since she had this skill that she could make arrows, she said to her husband, "You concentrate on your spiritual practices, and I will take care of all of our earthly necessities, but you focus." And so that's how they lived. And one day, the Brahmin's name was Saraha. One day, Saraha made an unusual request of his wife. Usually, he ate whatever was put in front of him, and he made no complaints, no comment really, didn't show much interest. But this one day, he said to her, "Bring me radish curry." And so she prepared the curry. She made some yogurt to go with it, and she served it to him on a plate of woven leaves. And she brought it into him, and then she realized he was in deep meditation, impervious to intrusion. So she went away and left him in peace. 12 years passed, and Saraha did not move from his meditation. 12 long years. And then he suddenly jumped up and he called out, "Woman, where is that curry?" And she looked at him and said, "Crazy husband, radish season is over, and you have been sitting for 12 years like a radish stuck in the ground. And now, all of a sudden, you want curry? What kind of meditation was that?" And then she went on, and she said, "Just because you can sit cross-legged in lotus position does not mean that it's genuine meditation. Just as it is not true solitude just because you live alone. Authentic solitude is parting ways from your unimportant thoughts. It's parting ways with that idea of duality. You have been sitting for 12 years holding an illusion of a radish. What kind of a yogi are you anyway? Well, Saraha heard these words, and he didn't get angry. He became awakened. And both of them continued practicing yoga. She was a high soul as well as he was. She was, some say, a reincarnated goddess who came to help him. But the story goes that they became fully liberated and they consciously left their bodies and went into heaven together. True story. You can look it up. Saraha, 3rd century. Anyway, this underscores that we need to not just practice the outer rituals of meditation that we've been taught, not just do it mechanically. We need to do it with our hearts to get rid of thought, go beyond thought. And as Yogananda said, life is short. We need to practice now. Let's redouble our efforts in this new year to go deep in meditation, to learn kriya-yoga if you haven't learned it already, and to go deeply into it so that we can be free of the illusions that plague us. I ran across this other wonderful little quotation of Master, and I'll close with this. As a devotee on the spiritual path, give little weight to the trials that beset you. Be even-minded. Walk with courage. Go forward from day to day with calm inner faith. Eventually, you will pass beyond every shadow of bad karma, beyond all tests and difficulties, and will behold at last the dawn of divine fulfillment. In that highest of all states of consciousness will come freedom from every last trailing vapor of misfortune. So let us resolve to live in joy, to live in service and kindness and compassion, and have a very happy New Year.
The other day, Nirmala and I were coming here, and it's an odd day. This was last Friday, a couple days ago. We were taking down the decorations, the holiday decorations, and just sort of changing it up for Master's birthday and for the new year. And as we were poised to get out of the house, we had this appointment here, we had people waiting for us, came the moment. This is one of these iconic moments. So we had cooked up a pot of beans, and we were mung beans. They were mushy, real soft and squishy. And we were trying to get that packed into the refrigerator and shifting things around in the refrigerator. And I realized that, you close the door, wouldn't close. So I was pulling it back out to rearrange so that there was more space behind it. And the thing happened. I lost control of the pot. It went, and it was hot still. And it went everywhere. It went in the refrigerator, went on the floor, and you know, you have time sort of stops in moments like that where it's like, no. You know, and it's like, I mean, you had to change clothes, you know, had to put the slippers into the washing machine. I mean, it's like, it's everywhere. It's on the rug, it's on the floor, it's under the refrigerator. I mean, it's just like, ugh. And, you know, and I will say to our credit that oaths were not spoken, which is good. Blame was not placed, which is good. Displeasure was perhaps evinced a little bit, but and it's some vigorous thoughts were. And then what came next? And of course, you know, we were trying to get out the door. So, I mean, we were late. We were, you know, it was like, ay. And then you try to figure out, how am I going to clean up mushy beans? You know, it was like, I didn't have a shop vac. You know, it wasn't, I mean, we didn't. Anyway, the net result of it was the kitchen floor got really clean. And the refrigerator got cleaned out. And, you know, and we all lived to tell the tale. Nobody got scalded, you know, the clothes all survived. But what struck me is that we've all had these moments, you know, where the car starts sliding and it's heading towards the ditch, or, you know, it's like, and time kind of stops and you're going, no. And the universe is going, yes. And you just have to go with what it is and figure out the next step, because it's always about now. And sometimes now has the mung beans all over the floor and inside the refrigerator, and they weren't supposed to be there. And all the planning in the world can perhaps prevent future mung bean accidents, but it doesn't eliminate the one that just happened until you actually get to cleaning it up. And that's how our lives are when we get stuck on, but it shouldn't have happened. And now, okay, fine. Yeah, maybe it shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. What do we do now? And and two things struck me, and this can apply to the new year also. One of them is, and Nirmala kind of alluded to this, redoubling our effort. We put out a burst of energy to sort of work with the energy that just came, because it's a karma that came and it has to be dealt with. And we exercise just a little bit of patience, because sometimes whatever it is that's trying to be sorted out isn't sort-outable, if there is such a word, such an expression, can't be dealt with now. It will resolve itself in time. You know, it's going to take a little while to clean up the mess in the kitchen, or it's going to take some time to sort out the health issue that's going on, or the relationship, or the financial, because some of these things, they get created over a long period of time, and there's a momentum to them, and it's going to have to sort of unmomentum itself into whatever, or you know, shift momentum into a new direction. But so those two things together, the burst of energy, or the sustained energy to counteract whatever it is, and the patience to understand that, you know, it's just a process. It's going to take whatever it takes. And we observed this with Swami Kriya-yoga. We observed it with Yogananda. And I want to just, I brought my little props here, and I'm just going to wave them in front of you for a moment, because this kind of segues with what Nirmala was saying. I'm going to show you 3 books. They're all pretty familiar, but if they're not, by any chance, if anybody hasn't read one of these, read it. Or if reading is not your thing, listen to it. Because Swamiji reads this. Swami Kriya-yoga there's an audio, you can get it on Audible or whatever. It is spectacular. It is life-changing. This is what we can share. And I want to just be clear, because churches are often kind of sectarian. You know, it's kind of comes with the territory because you get committed to a path, you get committed to a manifestation, a trajectory. If you read this book sincerely, and if this is not your path, you will be led to what is your path. It's not, Yogananda didn't come into this world to say, look, guys, I'm it. He came into this world to say, you can do what I've done. You can do what the great sages of the world have done. You know, this wonderful story Nirmala was telling. What kind of yogi are you anyway? Never mind that the guy's just been sitting there for 12 years. It's like radish consciousness. Anyway, but you know, it's like whatever path is your own path will be revealed. But this is an incredible, Yogananda came at a time when the shifting of the energy on the planet, I mean, I say energy on the planet because we're in an age of energy. Spin the clock back a couple hundred years. Think of all of the energy that we were not aware of as a culture, as a planet. You know, we couldn't just get in a car and go zooming down the road, fly on an airplane, have a space station swirling around in orbit above the planet. I mean, there's just so many things that have come in terms of awareness of energy. He came to show us how to do that spiritually, how to work with the energy of our lives on a spiritual level as well as a material level. And it's incredibly powerful. Second little show and tell item, The New Path. This book, it was called The Path when I read it in the late 1970s, changed my life completely. And his gift to us is he introduced us to Yogananda. And I want to just offer a visualization. This is not the sort of visualization that you have to close your eyes for. But just imagine for a moment that you have the opportunity to get on the phone with Yogananda, or you have the opportunity to come and meet him and sit and have a cup of tea with him. What will you bring to that conversation? What kind of question or who will you be to that in that situation? And think now, Yogananda had hundreds and thousands of disciples all around the world. He was aware of their thoughts. He was aware of their consciousness, all of them simultaneously. But he only, in the body, he only had one mouth. You know, he couldn't give 100 lectures at a time. He could only have one conversation at a time, which means that he could only really address small groups. You know, he was a human being living in a human body. He doesn't have that limitation anymore. He's available to all of us anywhere at any time. His consciousness is unlimited. And this book somehow helped me understand, who is he? How does he manifest to us as human beings? And the third book I'm going to show you, Conversations with Yogananda. This was the first book that Nirmala and I worked on when we moved to India in 2003. Swamiji had just finished writing it. We finished typesetting it. We got it produced in the space of about a month and had it right about now. Swami's first public lecture was in early January at Fiki Hall in New Delhi. 800 people, packed hall. This book was being launched on that occasion. And it's conversations that he had with Yogananda. It's all kinds of little anecdotes and interesting situational dramas and helpful lessons taught through human experience. And it's just amazing. So if you've read all three of these, fantastic. Pick one and listen to it again or review it again. Just, to pick up and read little passages of Yogananda, even a paragraph, like the little paragraph Nirmala just read at the end, just a little thought like that can help kind of orient the day, because it is easy. We live in a world where media is available to us all the time, and it's very easy to get swallowed up in all the drama and the commotion and the oh no consciousness that is around us in the world. Okay, fine. Let's pick up that kind of thread first in the day so that it gives that little nudge. Yoga is often about little tiny shifts, not radical, even the worry fast. When we think of fasting, it tends to be, okay, all or nothing. I'm only going to do water, or I'm only going to do juice, or, it's like it just cut out everything else. The worry fast is a much gentler concept, because it's like, no, every time that niggling little fear thing comes in, it's just like, no, we're not doing that today. Let's not do that today. Let's don't go there. Let's replace it with a positive flow, a creative energy, a beautiful way of being. So anyway, I speak from my heart about these 3 books because they really have a vibration. So this autobiography of a yogi completely changed Swamiji's life, which completely changed all of our lives, because if Swamiji hadn't found Master, I don't know how many of the rest of us would have. It really shifted his life. And he dedicated his life to serving and to helping us all understand, who is this, what did he bring, and how can we be part of it? How can we offer ourselves into that flow, like catching a wave, and the wave can take us to the shore of divine consciousness. And again, whether his specific path is your specific path is not the issue. The issue is, can you benefit from what he offered? And so many people can. So let's just invite that awareness and that opportunity into our new year, because all of us can be instruments for it. And all of us have that potential. We may not sit down and, meditate for 12 straight years, but we can all probably do 12 minutes, and we can all probably do even a little more than that. So embrace that opportunity in this coming year. It is a sacred opportunity that is for all of us.
Oh, Master, may thy joy fill our days. Oh, Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. The time has come for us to see that there's but one reality upon the earth and high above, the truth that all is made from love, a love that calls to us to fly above the hills, above the sky, above the storms, above the pain, a land where peace and laughter reign. Oh, Master, may thy joy fill our days. Oh, Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. Guide all our hopes and all our dreams, past every glow that only sees, into the light, the inner sun, into the truth that we're all one.
us to find in every hour, in every thought, in every flower, a joy that spans eternity, the truth that makes us ever free. Oh, Master, may thy joy fill our days. Oh, Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. Guide all our hope for us to see that there's but one reality upon the earth and high above, the truth that all was made from love. A love that calls to us to fly above the hills, above the sky, above the storms, above the pain, a land where peace and laughter reign. Oh, Master, may thy joy fill our days. Oh, Master, may thy wisdom guide our way. Guide all our hopes and all our dreams, past every glow that only sees, into the light, the inner sun, into the truth that we're all one. Help us to find in every hour, in every thought, in every flower, a joy that spans eternity, a truth that makes us ever free. Oh, Master, may thy joy fill our days. Oh, Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. Oh, Master, may thy joy fill our days. Oh, Master, may thy wisdom guide our